How you going, guys? Curtis from Cutting Edge Engineering. Today's job, we're going to be getting back onto our Franna Crane project. Ideally, I'd be making the new boom section today, but I wondered why the plates were taking so long, and then I realised I hadn't signed off on the final drawings of the plates, which means Troy never ordered them, and that's why they haven't arrived. But we have ordered them, and we need to wait another week or so for those to turn up. But for today's job, we're going to be pulling the cab off the crane. So if you've been following the project, you'll know I want to replace the cab, and that's because it is full of rust. There is rust throughout the floor, all around the windows is rusted through, and they all leak water pretty heavily.
Oh.
Up there. And over here. A bit over there.
Okay, just everywhere.
People have cut holes in the dashboard, in the side console. So it also looks like there's been a patch repair done on the front of the cab. There's lots of rust in around there. It also looks like there's been a repair done on the door where someone's cut out a section of material and put in a new piece. And there is plenty of rust around the perimeter of the door. That is very common in a lot of the Franna cranes, and it is because of the type of seal they use. It is a pinch weld seal which goes on the sides of the door, and it actually traps water and doesn't allow it to escape. So that particular style of seal, we're not going to be using that. We're going to avoid that at all costs. Because there's so much work to be done, it's going to be a lot easier and a lot faster just to rebuild the cab from scratch. And the material is just box section and bits of 3mm plate, so it's not expensive. It will be cost effective to just replace everything, and it will also give me the chance to make some improvements. So I can't actually disconnect that from in the cab. I do have to do that from where all the hydraulic valves are mounted in the pit in front of the boom of the machine. I will need to remove the boom lift cylinders, so I've got nice, easy access. So I've got all the hydraulic lines disconnected and capped off for the boom lift cylinders, but before I bring in the forklift, I'm going to remove this mirror because it's in the way. Oh my god, it is tight already. Okay, it's going to be one of them. They are solid.
Uh-oh.
The inner one moves.
It's not even moving.
moved.
Oh. Jesus.
Have a spanner back, please. Righto guys, so that has been an absolute battle. I've spent a few minutes trying to get this out and already broken one pull bolt. It looks like moisture has gotten in between the sleeve and the pin in the end of the cylinder, and that's created rust, which has forced everything to get seized. So I am quite surprised because these are brand new pins and sleeves, so I don't see why they would have done that, but moisture does seem to get pretty much everywhere, and we have had a lot of rain over the last couple of months, so rather than waste any more time trying to draw it out with threaded rod, I'm going to try something else. So what this is a hollow 150 ton porta power. I do have a pretty good variety of pressing equipment, but this is the only hollow cylinder that I have. So basically all this is a portable hydraulic press. Whoop, hit the cap. So now that our boom lift cylinders are out of the way, we have much better access to the pit. Now I need to disconnect everything that comes through the hole in the side of the cab. So we're just going to disconnect these hoses from this valve block. These hoses control the steering from in the cab. So I am going to be replacing all of the hydraulic lines and the wiring, but just to make things a little bit easier, we're going to mark the location of each hose.
So what's that all from?
So that goes to the counter on the side of the crane boom, so can't hurt that. These are all these solenoids for your crane safe, so unless these are turned on, the crane doesn't work. Leave one unidentified.
Yep. Very good.
So with all the wiring from the hydraulic solenoids disconnected, we're going to move on to all the air lines coming out of the cab.
Yucky.
I'll go down to the foot pedals under the floor. So these other air hoses here, they do run underneath the cab to the brake pedal. They've got a bit of an odd fitting on them that is quite difficult to undo, especially when you've got such a confined space. Because I know what they're for and we are replacing them, I'm just going to cut them. Air circuit out of the cab. This is that backup emergency motor. So if you have any issues, like you lose hydraulic pressure, like if you lose the motor, you can turn this on and either put your boom on the ground or steer it away from something. Righto, so that's pretty much everything we can disconnect from this area. I do need to unhook the 3 control cables, but I'm not going to pull that valve block apart out here. I'm going to get them from inside the cab, underneath the control levers. Next thing I'm going to do is go to the back of the cab and unhook the wiring loom. Whoa. What a mess. That there goes to the back of the machine. Oh, yeah, no. See, look at this mess. There's not really any point trying to save it because there's so many splices. Who knows what you're hooking up? They've jumped power, they've brought this in from there, it goes into the back side of the plug. Some of that will be for your tail lights, your blinkers, some will be for sensors for the motor. Righto, so in behind the cab didn't really tell us a great deal. There is a lot of cut wires in there that have been spliced into others to do something else. So I'm not going to try and undo anything there. So I've come back up to a good part of the loom. All of the wiring has its own color code and identification. So I am going to cut it here. That means when we do go to make the new loom, providing we hook everything up the same, it'll be right. There we go underneath. So next thing I'm going to do is get the steering hoses out of the way, and then we're going to go under the cab. Oh, that is all messed up. I'm not even going to try and undo that. I'm just going to cut it and get to replace it anyway. That is your hold brake for your transmission. Oh. That's supposed to move.
Was that a bolt?
It would have been a bolt, but it rusted the head off.
Wow.
And that had locked itself in place. It's the accelerator cable.
There we go.
So I've got the cable for the brake pedal and the accelerator disconnected. I've also undone the air hoses for the foot brake. Next thing I need to do, because we're not going to be putting aircon back in the cab, I'm just going to cut those because we don't need them. Right. Where's the other one?
Up in the... He's trying to drink the water, is he?
I don't know what he's doing.
Okay.
Now I need to get that undone. So we have encountered our next challenge. This is the gear selector pole that goes on top of the gearbox. The two cables run back into the cab, and that's how you change gears. Unfortunately, the corrosion has gotten pretty serious to these two hem joints, so I am just going to cut those because they are readily available. I'm also probably going to have to make the little connecting rod because it is severely rusted through. We're just going to cut those so we can keep moving forward. I'm gonna go wash myself.
Okay. Oh, poor Teddy. Where are you going? What are you looking for? Let's see. Come on. This way. Let's go. Hello, Jeffrey. Oh, you left it behind.
Righto guys, so we're down to the last thing I need to disconnect before I can remove the cab. It is the cables for the hydraulic levers for the boom. And of course the last one's seized. Well, they're not going to go through that hole. You got to pull them through now.
What?
Righto guys, so that is everything connected to the cab is free and now can be removed with it. Last thing I need to do is undo the 8 bolts, but before I do that I am going to string the cab up to the forklift so we can lift it off safely. Righto, so there's actually 12 bolts. There are 4 across the front here which hold the cab to the front guard. Turns out I can't count. See if they all come undone first.
Did that break?
Yeah. Oh.
There we go. Yes.
So those 2 came undone pretty easy. We've just got another 2 that are inside the cab.
That was easy.
So all of our bolts are removed. Now we can remove the cab.
rust.
Garnet.
Oh, is it? From sandblasting. Crazy.
Righto guys, so that is the cab removed. As you can see, there is a lot of rust in the left-hand side of the cab, so this was 100% never going to be salvageable. You can also see there's a lot of garnet trapped in between the main frame and the cab from where it has been sandblasted previously. And now that the cab's off, we can finalize all of the drawings and order in all the material for the new one. Plus, we can start the process of new wiring harness and everything else we're going to need. So when we rebuild the new cab, there won't be very many parts we reuse out of this one. We will take out the Crane safe screen, the hydraulic steering box, maybe some of the gauges and the pedals. That all depends how much new ones cost and what sort of condition these ones are in. Pretty much we'll take what we need and the rest of it's going to go in the bin. So that's it for this part of the project. Stay tuned for the next video where we're going to build our new boom section. Thanks for watching.
At least this should be easier to undo this stuff. Yeah.
We'll see. Fuck me. Why? Fucking why?
Someone didn't grease it enough. Oh, what's that? What's that, about halfway?
Nowhere near it.
Oh god. There we go.
Yeah.
Should have just done that from the start.
I would have done it from the start. But if you knew where that was hiding,
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd leave it till last.
Yeah. And we didn't think it'd be that hard to get out.
I didn't think it would be that hard.
There was grease, just not in the right spot.
No!
You're nuts.
Can we fucking melt that one?
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
That's cool. Is that another jet? Yeah, it's another one.
It's not one.
Whoa. Jeez Louise.
Still wearing it.
Does it work?
No, it does not work.
It doesn't look like it would work. So you don't want to replicate this?
No.
Ew. Look at this side.
Oh, for fuck's sake, it keeps going to my mouth. Oh, my arch nemesis. Fucking roll pin.
Ta-da! That's how a roll pin should come out.
Trying to get them apart's going to be fun.
How do they normally come apart?
They fall apart.
Oh.
Righto guys, so we're down to our last piece. What are we calling it? I also got the last of the... what am I going to call it? Shit. It was shit. For fuck's sake. What the actual fuck?
Whoa, what's on fire? Ah!
Thinking like new GAN shift knobs as well.
Shh. Don't give anything away.
None of the glass will actually fit the new cab because it has been slightly modified. Changed the shapes. Oh.
That looks bizarre. Can you sit in it? Oh. Hey. What you got? Homeless. Homeless, that's not for you. It's an empty box. You're so funny.